Okay, let's really dig into this. In our tech world, the need for practical, like really solid system admin skills is just always there. And, for a lot of you listening, getting certified is a big goal. But the path, figuring out where to even start, what to focus on, well, it can feel a bit like wandering in the dark sometimes. So today, our mission, what we want to do for you is lay out a really clear roadmap. We're doing a deep dive into the game plan for getting that command line mastery, specifically looking at the RHCSA RHEL 10 certification. We've pulled the key ideas from RHCSA Season 2, RHEL 10 Mastery Blueprint, and especially from Episode 22, the Season 2 game plan, which focuses on tackling those RHEL 10 objectives using Rocky 9. The goal is to give you a really solid grasp of what it takes.
Yeah, and what's really valuable here, I think, is how this blueprint sort of demystifies the whole certification process. It's not just a random list of commands to memorize. It's a strategy, right? A sequence that shows why certain tools are foundational, so you build real problem-solving intuition, not just, memorized answers. And the best part, these skills, they work anywhere. Makes you way more versatile in IT.
That's such a good point. Genuine understanding, not just checking off boxes. Okay, so let's jump into this game plan. First things first, the target. We're aiming for RHEL 10, Red Hat Enterprise Linux 10. And just to be super clear, for those of you going for the official cert, this prep is all geared towards the EX200 exam. That's the code for the Red Hat Certified System Administrator.
Right. And RHEL 10, well, it's a big deal in professional IT, mastering it. Definitely a significant career step. Now, what's really interesting about the approach here, the lab strategy, is starting with Rocky Linux 9, running it on Linode. And the plan is basically to switch over to Rocky Linux 10 as soon as Linode makes it like a simple one-click install. This means the skills you're building right from the start are directly lined up with that RHEL 10 target. Gives you a bit of a head start, really.
That sounds like a really smart way to do it for learners. So why Rocky Linux? People might wonder, well, like you said, it's functionally identical to RHEL for what you need for the exam. So the skills, 100% transferable. And Linode, it's just a professional-grade server platform. So you're learning in an environment that's, pretty close to the real world. This whole strategy is great for you because you get stability now with Rocky 9. You're aligned with the future target, RHEL 10, and everything you learn is actually relevant.
Yeah, exactly. And, someone might ask, are there any differences at all between Rocky and RHEL? For the exam objectives, nope, you're good. In the, let's say, deep end of the real world, maybe you'd see tiny branding things or specific support tools maybe that come with the Red Hat subscription. But for the core command line skills, the RxCSA stuff, the experience is basically indistinguishable. Great cost-effective training ground.
Okay, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
So we've got the platform sorted. Now, the big idea, total command line mastery. What does that actually feel like? Is it just knowing tons of commands, or is it something, I don't know, deeper?
Good question. It's definitely deeper. Total command line mastery isn't about having like a photographic memory of every single command option. It's more about building this deep intuition, understanding how the system breathes, how to chain commands, how to troubleshoot effectively, automate things without, feeling lost. And the official RHCSA objective we're hitting first nails it. Understand and use essential tools. It sounds basic, but honestly, these skills, they are the bedrock for everything else in system administration. Without this, good luck with networking or storage later on.
Right. It's like trying to build a house without a proper foundation. So it's not just knowing what a command like grep does, but really getting why it's so powerful when you're digging through logs. Okay, so for people starting out, which of these first 11 objectives usually trips them up the most? Is there like a common hurdle?
Often I'd say it's a mix of two things, file permissions and regular expressions. Permissions can be tricky because it's partly conceptual, users, groups, rights, and partly practical, like actually typing the chmod command correctly. And regular expressions, regex, that requires a whole different way of thinking. Pattern matching, it's new for a lot of people, but we'll break them down piece by piece.
Good, good. So the concrete plan then is mastering these 11 specific sub-objectives, 1.1 through 1.11. And this is spread over 25 hands-on lab sessions. And the key thing here, like you said, it's not about flashcards. It's about actually doing it. Practical application, building that muscle memory at the keyboard through practice.
Okay, let's dive into the actual blueprint then. These 11 core skills grouped together. First up, shell and system access, the absolute essentials. Objective 1.1, the shell prompt and command syntax. Literally where you start typing. Your command line interface. Exactly. And it's more than just typing. It's getting that feel for how commands work, the structure, the arguments, the options. Little things like typos or wrong flags, they trip up beginners all the time. Oh, pro tip. Get good with tab completion early. Seriously, saves time, cuts down errors, helps you find stuff. It's like autocomplete, but for the command line. And learning to read error messages, that's huge too. Turns frustration into learning.
Definitely. Okay, then objective 1.4, remote access with SSH. Secure shell. Super important for managing servers you're not physically sitting next to.
Yeah, crucial. And honestly, it's the only secure way you should be doing it. SSH encrypts everything passwords, commands between you and the server, keeps things safe. A lot of admins, move to using SSH keys instead of passwords. Even more secure, more efficient. Imagine managing servers worldwide, right? Can't be there. SSH is your secure tunnel. Common problem. Firewall blocking the SSH port. Or just trying the wrong username. Happened to me once, spent ages troubleshooting a connection error. Turned out the server's firewall was just blocking me. Simple fix, big lesson.
Oh, yeah, been there. All right, next, objective 1.5. Logging in and switching users. Security again, and just navigating systems with multiple users.
Right. This covers commands like su substitute user and sudo super user do. Su lets you completely become another user, but sudo, that's usually preferred now. Why? Because sudo lets you run specific commands as someone else, usually root, but with your own password. It leaves a clear trail who did what, much better than everyone sharing the root password. It's all about least privilege, only giving the power needed for the task. Seriously, avoid logging in directly as root for normal stuff. Sudo is your friend for security and accountability.
Makes perfect sense. Okay, so you're in, the basic structure. Next up, managing the actual stuff on the server, .files and directories. This brings us to file and directory management.
Yeah.
Objective 1.7. Creating and editing text files. You do this all the time for configuration, scripting, everything basically.
Absolutely. On a server, you probably don't have a fancy graphical editor, so mastering command line editors like Vi or Vim, its bigger cousin in Nano, non-negotiable .nano is usually easier to start with, Vi or Vim. Super powerful, super efficient once you get the hang of it. Oh man, my first time in Vi, couldn't figure out how to exit. Classic beginner moment. But yeah, config files, scripts, notes, they're all text in Linux for these editors. You'll live in them. Oh, and critical tip. Don't use Windows Notepad to edit Linux config files. Character encoding issues can break things silently. Use a proper Linux editor.
Good morning. Then objective 1.8, the real day-to-day stuff. Create, delete, copy, and move files and folders.
Yep, your bread and butter. mkdir, rmd or touch, cp, mv, rm. You use these constantly. But a word of caution on RM. Be careful. It doesn't ask twice. Once it's gone, it's gone. Using rm-i for interactive mode, where it asks before deleting. Good habit, especially when you're new to an environment. And for copying or moving directories, remember that .r or *no flag for recursive. Oh, and understanding .for current directory and .for parent. Key for making sure you're working in the right place.
Right. Don't want to accidentally delete the wrong directory. Okay, so once you're making files, moving them around, controlling who can do what becomes critical. That leads to objective 1.9, hard and soft links, and 1.10, standard UGRX permissions.
Oof.
User, group, other reads, write, execute.
Exactly. These two are huge for both managing files efficiently and keeping things secure. Hard links first. Think of them as multiple names for the exact same file data. So you have a file, you make a hard link. Now two directory entries point to the same blocks on the disk, delete one name. The data's still there until all names are gone. Good for things like shared libraries, avoids copying the same code over and over. Soft links, though, they're more like shortcuts. They point to the name of another file or directory. If the original target gets deleted, the soft link breaks. Understanding the difference is vital. Stops you from duplicating stuff or ending up with broken links all over. And permissions, UGRX. That's the system security guard for every single file and directory. Who can read R? Who can write or modify W? Who can execute or run X? You set these for the user, owner, the group, and others, everyone else. You can use symbols like chmod u plus x file or numbers, octal mode, like chmod 755 file. Get these wrong. Big problems. Either a security hole or nobody can run essential programs. Like if your web server can't read its own config files, website down. It's fundamental for security and just making things work. Your default permissions set by Unmask are also really important here.
Okay, got it. Organize, secure. Next big area, data streams and processing. This is where the command line starts to feel really powerful, right? Objective 1.2, input-output redirection. Using those symbols, AA and the pipe leak.
Yeah, think of it like plumbing, like you said earlier, taking output from one command, the water, and sending it somewhere else. Into a file, a bucket, or into another command, another pipe overwrites a file, adds to the end of a file. And A, the pipe, that's the magic one, takes the output of command A and feeds it directly as input to command B. This is how you build complex workflows from simple tools like list files, pipe that to grep to find only text files, then redirect that result to a new file. It's a massive efficiency booster.
And speaking of grep, Objective 1.3, searching text with grep and regex, finding needles in digital haystacks, basically.
That seems prevalent.
Extensible.
Oh, totally. You see new admins scrolling through log files for hours. grep is fast for simple searches, but add regex regular expressions and wow, surgical precision. Imagine needing to find, I don't know, every error from 2 a.m. Tuesday, but not if it also says network and only in files ending in .log. Regex lets you build that specific pattern. It moves you from just searching keywords to really sophisticated pattern matching. It's like having a super smart assistant for text.
That sounds incredibly useful. Okay, last one in this group, Objective 1.6, archiving and compression, tools like tar and gzip.
Right. Backups, moving big chunks of data, saving disk space. You need to package things up. Why not just copy a whole directory? Well, copying doesn't always keep permissions, ownership, timestamps perfect, especially if you move between different kinds of file systems. Tar tape archive, yeah, it's old school naming, bundles everything up, directory structure and all metadata, into one single file. Then you usually compress that .tar file using gzip, makes a .tar.gz or .tgz, or maybe bzip2.tar.bzdo or xe.tar.xe to make it smaller. So the common command might be like tar-cvvf backup.tar.gz var www.html creates a compressed archive of your website files. Much easier to handle one file than thousands.
Okay, that covers a lot of the doing, but there's one more, maybe the most important skill of all.
Yeah.
Objective 1.11, using system documentation, knowing how to use man pages and info.
Yes. This isn't just another command to learn. It's your lifeline. It makes you self-sufficient. You won't always have Google, especially if you're troubleshooting a broken network connection or working offline. Knowing how to find and read the system's own help files, that's the ultimate self-help. Man pages are usually concise, quick reference for commands. Info pages are often more detailed, like mini manuals, sometimes with links. Learning how to actually read them, search within them using SUP, maybe use man-k or apropos to find commands related to a topic. That empowers you to solve new problems on your own. Huge accelerator for learning.
Absolutely critical. Learn how to learn, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the 11 skills. But how are you, the listener, going to learn this? Not just theory, right? It's very hands-on.
Exactly. The whole format is built around active learning. Each of those 25 lab episodes focuses on one objective, maybe two if they're small. We'll be doing live demos, actually SSHing into our shared Rocky 9 Linode lab. The key is these are designed as follow-along sessions, practical, repeatable tasks that you can do right along with us. It's about doing, not just watching.
And that direct, hands-on, follow-along approach, that really is the best way for you to get these command line skills locked in. Build the muscle memory, see the system respond, understand the why. So let's bring it all together. What does this mean for you listening? We've mapped out the whole strategy. RHEL 10 is the goal. Using Rocky Linux on Linode is the smart way to practice now and be ready for the future. The immediate focus is mastering that first big objective, understand and use essential tools by tackling those 11 core skills. And you'll do it through 25 practical, hands-on live demo lab sessions.
Yep, the planning phase, that's done. Now it's time to actually start building those skills. This deep dive sets the stage, and the next step is actually getting your hands dirty.
Exactly. So for anyone following this path, the very next thing is deploying that Rocky 9 Linode server from scratch. That's where the hands-on work truly begins. And maybe just leave you with this thought. Mastering these command line fundamentals, it's way more than just passing an exam. It unlocks this deeper level of control, of understanding over any Linux system you touch. It's a real foundation for your whole IT journey. Think about what that kind of mastery opens up for you. Automation, troubleshooting, optimization, becoming a truly confident, capable sysadmin.